Heyyo, Go Format players, it's Skilled Brown Magician here, and I have the fourth deck in the subscriber recommended series, and this one goes out to Janjo Zone. He was asking me for a fire deck profile, and I chose some of the hardest fire monsters to pull out, and here's the profile. So this is such a crazy combo deck. The combo trees are so crazy. The things you can do with it, the draw power, there's literally there's literally hands where I'll have like 15 cards in hand to pull off this massive wombo combo that ends with my opponent having no cards in hand when they draw their next card. The reason all of this can happen is because of the fire monster, which shout out to Janjo for, being the inspiration for it and pointing me in the fire direction. So I wanted to utilize Hino Kagutsuchi. He's a 8-star fire monster with 2800 attack, 2900 defense, and his effect is crazy. He can't be special summoned, and he returns to the owner's hand during the end phase when he's normal summoned or flipped face up. He's a spirit monster, so he's a 2 tribute spirit monster, but his effect is insane. If this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, they discard all cards in their hand during the next draw phase before they draw. So if you giant trunade their hand or their back row back into their hand, and then you hit them with Hino, they have to get rid of all of those cards in hand, and then they just draw one next turn. Crazy. But the thing is, how can you possibly get him out, right? Successfully, because it's 2 tributes and it's going to return to your hand during the end phase. So how are you going to even be able to pull that off? And I want to give a huge shout outs to Scully because his original deck is what inspired me to build this deck, and I kind of took it my own route. And the way we're able to bring out Hino is this 2-card combo that I came up with, and I call it the Gila Control combo because it utilizes Gilasaurus, which is this little level 3 earth monster, 1400 attack. He's a dino. His effect is insane. You special summon this card from your hand, just straight up Cyber Dragon. Summon him from hand. However, if he's summoned this way, you have to activate this effect. Your opponent can special summon any one monster from their graveyard. Any monster. So if they have a BLS that they properly summon, they can bring out BLS. So that sounds like a huge downside, makes it totally not a Cyber Dragon anymore. But in this deck, having your opponent special summon something in face up, whether it's an attack or defense, no matter what monster it is, from a lowly Magician of Faith all the way up to a BLS, it doesn't matter what they bring out because you're sitting on a brain control or a snatch steal, because this forces them. Well, it doesn't force them to special summon, but more often than not, of course, they're going to special summon. So they special summon something, whether it's in defense or attack, and it's going to be face up. So it fulfills the requirement for you to brain control. So now you special summon Gila, you took their monster, you have 2 monsters on your side of the field, and you haven't normal summoned yet. Crazy. This engine, I think, is so spicy. Gilasaurus and brain control. Honestly, Gilasaurus, there's so many scenarios where your opponent, they don't even have anything in their graveyard. So you can just special summon Gila out for free. There's times where you go first turn, special summon Gilasaurus, bring out Jinzo. On your first turn, special summon 2 Gilasauruses, special summon Demok, which I've done before. I have a spicy replay to show you. All these 2 tribute summon monsters utilize Precious Cards from Beyond, which is this continuous spell card which says when you tribute summon a monster using 2 or more tributes, draw 2 cards. This card does not specify whether or not the tributes are your monsters or not. It just says as long as you tribute summon with 2 tributes, draw 2. Crazy synergy. Crazy synergy. It's so much fun to play. Now you can see why it's a combo, because the draw power is just crazy. You're playing Cyberjar and Morphing Jar, you're abusing that. What makes it even more disgusting is that Hino gets rid of their whole hand. So if you're able to flip one of these on your turn and then hit them with Hino, it gets rid of their whole hand anyways. Also, you're playing another spirit monster, Yamada Dragon. Same thing, can't be special summoned. He's level 7, so he still requires 2 tributes, 2600 attack, 3100 defense. But his effect is when he inflicts battle damage, you draw until you have 5 cards in your hand. So if you went full combo, you have nothing left in hand, you swing with him, and then you get to draw until you have 5 cards in hand. You're also playing classic Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys. It's fire, 2 tribute summon. Its effect is great, doesn't care about destruction, card destructions, because he just gets special summoned again. You're playing Janjo just because you're trying to shut off traps. Obviously, you're a Gila Control Engine with Snatch and triple Brain Control. You play double Nobleman. You have your draw power here. Card destruction is so disgusting with this deck. I'll point out some tips later. And obviously, we have to clear out their back row. So we're playing a very heavy back row removal. So we're playing 3 Giant Trunade to clear back row. Also, to utilize the synergy with swords to allow for us to stall till we get combo pieces in hand. You can loop swords with Giant Trunade. And also for your Prima, you just keep looping Prima to bring back all your crazy monsters. You can bring back your Phoenix, you can bring back your Janjo, you can bring back Thunder Dragon, you can bring back Demok. Also, you play MST, you're playing triple Solemn Judgment because this is a really good card to draw into with all of your draw effects because this will protect you, right? It's going to protect you from anything. It'll stop a summon, it'll negate a summon straight up, it'll stop a trap, it'll stop a spell. And then you're playing Mirror Force. This deck is so much fun, guys. I can't even tell you. I cannot wait to show you the replays. Let me go over some of the stratagems of the deck. This deck is just completely unreal. Let me get this out of the way. This deck is just so much fun to play. Okay, so here are some of the stratagems. Like I mentioned, the Gila Control Engine is crazy. It gets you 2 monsters on your field, and you haven't even normal summoned yet. And this deck revolves around 2 tribute normal summons, so that's exactly what you need. So we just need Gila and Brain Control or Snatch. Also, if you have Gilasaurus and Janjo in your hand, on your first turn, you could literally just bring out Janjo and Gilasaurus. More often than not, if you're going first, guaranteed there's no monsters in their grave. So you special summon Gila, tribute for Janjo, first turn Janjo. If you're going second, more often than not, they're not going to have any monsters in graveyard, so you can still do the same thing. Special summon Gila, tribute for Janjo. So crazy. This engine, it's just so quick, adds to the OTK. There's points where your opponent, they don't even have any more monsters in graveyard, so you just start special summoning Gilas for free. And it's 1400, which isn't too shabby for a 3-star monster. Another thing, like I said, Gila and Brain Control just adds to the OTK strategy. And something that's even more broken is that Trunade and Hino is an even more disgusting combo. Obviously, you're going to open up with Trunade to clear their back row because you need to make sure when you bring out Hino, nothing's going to interrupt. But the synergy is that when you bounce everything back with Giant Trunade, it adds more cards to their hand so that when you inflict that battle damage with Hino, they're discarding all of those cards. Imagine if they have a set Mirror Force. Imagine they have their set Torrential. If they have their set whatever else. It could be Call of the Haunted, right? All of those cards, you bounce them back, and then you just discard them all with Hino. Some more stratagems. Hino, because it discards when they draw, before they do their draw, so it ignores things like Magician of Faith. Because they'll add back their Pot of Greed, they'll add back their Graceful, but then before they draw, they have to discard it. So it ignores Magician of Faith, it ignores Mask of Darkness, it ignores Sangin. All of those kinds of things because of his crazy discard effect. He's such a sick boss monster. Also, you pair him with card destruction, you get so many mills. And talking about mills, replace Cyber Jar and Morphing Jar. So you can play this kind of like an empty jar deck because you can mill their entire deck and just mill through all of their outs. So that's what's so good about going into Hino. You'll hit them, right, in battle phase, and then main phase 2, hit them with card destruction, discard all of their cards in their hand, have them redraw the same amount, and then before their next draw phase, they're discarding again because of Hino's effect. So hopefully you mill through all of their outs. You mill through their heavy storms. You mill through their knocks. You mill through their snatch steal, right? You just mill through all of their staples because it's such a crazy mill deck, especially with Cyber Jar and Morphing Jar. Something else is just be careful with your Gravekeeper spies because if they get knocked, they're your main BLS graveyard fodder. Also, just abuse that True Nade and Swords loop to stall until you have all the combo pieces in hand. And then also, please, Prima with this deck is so crazy. The monsters that you can bring back, I kind of cater the deck so there's a couple fewer spirit monsters than when I originally built it, just so that I could have monsters to bring back with Prima because the spirits can't be special summoned. So I really like this deck. I cannot wait to show you guys the replays. I'm going to be dropping those soon. Just wait. This deck is a combo deck. The combo trees are nuts. The draw power is insane. The things that you can do with it, hilarious. And then when you do get Hino's effect off, which is fairly often, this deck is crazy. Here's the original deck profile. I'll just leave it up. I'm not going to explain it. It's a different route. It uses level conversion, Stray Lambs, and Book of Taiyu for a much different approach. But I used this as my inspiration for my build, and I based a lot of my cards off of this. So shout outs to Scully. And then again, shout outs to Janjo Zone. He even made me this cool looking Skilled Dark Magician edit. So shout outs to Janjo. He's another Yu-Gi-Oh channel and he posts GOAT format content, so you should check him out as well. Hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. Check out the replays and take care. Peace.